we'll start up here on Facebook in just a moment, too. So this one is sponsored by Midwest Spine and Dr. Sean Kondamuri. And it comes on from time to time with us. Hey, everybody, welcome in on Facebook. My name's Jim Diedlow, and you're listening on the radio at AM 1230 and 104.7. You're also watching on Facebook and Amazon, Apple, Roku, the WJOB Network app. You can watch on our website, WJOBnetwork.com. So you got a lot of different places to pick this up. I think it's 9 total. And I'm glad for that because it's some pretty important stuff we do with Dr. Sean Kondamuri. And there he is right now. Doctor, how are you?
Doing fantastic, Jim. How about yourself?
A little warm today. And
all weekend.
Yes, I believe all weekend. And I believe, I don't know about you guys, but every once in a while when it gets this kind of warm and stuffy in the outside, a little bit of those allergies kick in, you know what I mean? And it's that season right now. And nobody likes to take allergy medicine because they want to be alert, and sometimes it can dull your senses. But
I'm in the same boat, Jim. I've got allergies as well. I take my Claritin every morning, unfortunately, because of that.
Yeah, you know, and I was just talking about it with one of the guys in the office, and I try to wait until like this until I'm done off the air, because I feel like it kind of clouds me a little in my head, just a little bit. Now my wife's like, no, it makes me sharper, or my daughter takes it, and then I'm like, you know what, I gotta listen to people and I gotta be on it. And I feel like Claritin makes it just almost like your lip syncs off or something. You know what I mean? But
well, you know, since you mentioned it, you said your daughter or somebody feels like they're a little sharper when they use Claritin. They probably are using Claritin D because Claritin D does wake you up. It does energize you a little bit, and that could feel like she's feeling sharper. That's Claritin D.
You know, I did not know that there was a difference. I just go in there and buy Claritin like I have for like 20 years, you know. Right. And so now they have one that doesn't make you as tired, is what you're saying.
Exactly. And in fact, it not only doesn't make you tired, it actually will rev you up a little bit.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to take that one before bed. You take the other one before bed because that'll help you go to sleep.
Yeah, I usually don't take that. And I used to take Claritin D, but now I just use regular Claritin because otherwise it will affect my sleep later on in the evening. Yeah,
you know, sleep is a big factor when it gets this warm also. So we're talking to Dr. Sean Kondamuri. Essentially, doctor works with the spine and with pain and that kind of stuff. And doctor, just tell us who you're with. And I know you got a number of offices, and I'll never get it right, so why don't you do it?
Yeah, so I am with Midwest Interventional Spine Specialists, and we are a spine care practice, and we also treat chronic pain of various causes, whether it's coming from your spine, your back, your hips, your knees, general body pain, different nerve conditions. And our offices are in Munster, Indiana, Chesterton, Indiana, Hobart, and Dyer. And I have 4 other physician partners with me, Dr. Desari, Dr. Shetty, Dr. Gupta, Dr. Saveen Kondamuri, and we have a few nurse practitioners, and we have a wonderful staff that's here to help take care of our patients. And we emphasize wellness and living a healthy life. You know, the fact is, Jim, everybody in the world wants to be healthy, wants to feel vibrant, wants to have energy and be successful in whatever they do. Whether it's, working at one of the steel mills, or whether you're a teacher or a policeman, you want to feel vibrant and energetic. And sometimes most of the time pain in your body will prevent that from happening. So we really try to give people their lives back that way. And by the way, I'll mention, if you don't know, Jim, we won the best of the region for both the spine care category as well as the pain management category. And that's the 9th time that we've won it in the last 10 years, I believe.
Oh, wow. Way to go. Pain management and for the spine. So let's go back to the allergies we're talking about, because that is, right now, a lot of it kicks in for a lot of people. And one of the guys in the office, he said, well, you can take the pills or you could take the sprays. Any comments on that? I know that allergy is like a big discussion around here right now. So what about your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I'm not an allergist. I am an internist, so I have a little bit of knowledge on this, but I'm certainly not an allergist or an immunologist. But I will say that if you take the pill, the Claritin, for example, or the Allegra, there's a couple of different products out there, that gives you 24-hour relief. And if we are in pollen season, or if we're at a time of the year where we know our seasonal allergies are going to be kicking up, then you want to take that every morning as a preventative measure. So I don't want to be sniffling and have red eyes and be rubbing my eyes all day long and then take something like a puff of something into my nose. I'd rather use it ahead of time and use it as preventative medicine for those few weeks or months of the year when I know I'm going to have trouble. So that's how I would advise my friends or patients the same way.
Doctor, let's go at the wellness right now in heat as it is right now. I mean, we've got 4 days of 92 of the high right here. We're talking 95, maybe a little bit south of where we're sitting. Just general discussion about, how to keep your body healthy during a heat wave like this.
It's a huge issue for our elderly patients as well as even our young teenage patients. I mean, the entire age spectrum has to take precautions in heat like this. My son wanted to go play tennis all weekend long. A couple of times he wanted me to come with him and help him out in that sun. He's younger, maybe he's got a little bit more energy and maybe a little more, his body's a little more compliant, and he can take dehydration a little bit better than I might be able to. But nonetheless, he has to have the same precautions that I would. So we make sure we hydrate. You've got to hydrate, and not only just water, but some sort of electrolyte solution, whether it be vitamin water or Gatorade, or the supplemental IV. It's called like IV electrolytes. It's a powder that you can throw into your jug of water or bottle of water to give you additional electrolytes. And you want to take precautions when you're in the sun. I mean, there's no, on hot days like this, we feel like we want to be outside in a swimming pool or out in the sun just having fun playing golf or just having a picnic. But you've got to have proper sun protection. Many people don't like to hear it, but you got to wear a big hat, and you've got to protect your neck and your face. I mean, on a at least weekly basis, or maybe every week or two, one of my patients will come in and I'll see a little scar on their face or on their nose or on their forehead. And I'm like, so what happened? What it was is they had a squamous cell carcinoma and they had to have that removed. And a squamous cell carcinoma is entirely related to sun exposure. And the bigger risk, of course, is could it be a melanoma? So any of those discolorations on our face are going to end up being at risk for melanoma, and you have to have that biopsied. So take the precautions early on. Stay in the shade, wear some sun protection, wear some sunblock with a high SPF value, and protect yourself. As far as being outside, I think on a day like this, you just got to literally limit your exposure outside. You cannot be outside in that 90+ degree heat for any prolonged period of time.
Speaking of 90, my dad's 81, and he is the oldest player in his softball league, which is a 70 and over softball league. But there's a number of guys in their upper 70s, and then my dad and a couple others in their 80s, but he's the oldest. Anything specific that somebody that old in that much heat can do other than stay home and don't go out?
I would tell your father at 81 years old to stay home and not go out for more than a few minutes at a time. There's no guaranteed way to protect yourself if you're that age in this sun. Heat exhaustion happens, and it puts a tremendous stress on our body. And if you are dehydrated, which you're going to become dehydrated out in that sun because you're going to sweat, and it's difficult for us to ever keep up with our hydration, and you're going to have problems. And those problems for somebody his age are going to be kidney problems. Your urinary system is going to be at a tremendous stress. As it is, an 81-year-old gentleman like yourself, like your father, or any 81-year-old gentleman, has, even though their blood tests might be normal, the blood tests we look at are BUN and creatinine, they might appear normal, but their kidney function is decreased. By definition, if you're 80 years old, you have a decrease in kidney function, as much as a 50% decrease in kidney function. So then if your kidneys are working at half throttle, and then you dehydrate yourself by being out in the sun from sweating and not hydrating ahead of time, you're at a high risk of a kidney problem. And those are dangerous.
We're talking to Dr. Sean Kondamuri, and doctor, of course, is pain management and wellness and spine. Doctor, a lot of people are riding their bikes right now. And they are, well, let's just take a phone call here and there, huh? 219-845-1100. You want to talk to Doctor. Hi, you're on the air. What are you doing?
What's up, Jed?
Hi.
I'm getting ready to go hit some Jed golf.
All right.
Right here in Pulaski Park.
All right. All right, well, I got a doctor on right now. Do you have a question for him, or you just want to say hi?
I just want to say, hey, Doherty.
All right, thanks a lot. Talk to you. And doctor, a lot of people, I got one here, pain management for neck pain, and let's make that a little more specific. A lot of people riding bikes. I'm going to go ride my bike to my dad's game a little bit later. We're both going to completely disregard your your admonitions here, but I will go ride my bike. And I have a feeling that Hope, who's asking this, may have a similar thing. I'm getting a little neck pain from kind of hunching over on the bicycle. Any suggestions here?
You know, Jim, you've probably already got some degenerative disc disease in your neck. You might have some mild spinal stenosis in your neck. And then if your neck is like this, bent, and for the people who are on the radio, what I'm describing is your neck is extended because you're leaning forward on your bike. You're extending your neck to see out forward. That puts a bit of strain on your neck. So you're not only going to be straining the internal components of your spine, you're also going to strain those muscles. So the way to prevent that is hopefully at times to straighten up and not really look with your head so extended that way. Bend your head forward a little bit and get into a more neutral position. And with practice, I mean, if you ride a lot, like I cycle a lot. That's my main cardio exercise. And I rode over the weekend too. In fact, I rode on Sunday for about 35 miles, and I finished my ride at around 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was so hot. So the dehydration question comes in. I mean, I had 2 bottles of water with me, and had I gone any longer, I would have been in trouble. I mean, you really have to hydrate. But then as you ride a lot, Jim, as you well know, your neck gets a little more adapted. It accommodates a little bit, and those muscles can tolerate more of that odd posture you're putting it in. So really just keep on doing it, and the more and more you ride in that bent over posture, the less neck issues you're going to have. But you also want to rest it every now and then, get out of your extended neck position and get into a more neutral posture by sitting up straight.
219-845-1100. Dr. Sean Kondamuri, Midwest Spine. He's here, and he'll take your calls. Talk about whatever you want. He's pretty wide open, so let's go. Hey, you're on the air. What's happening?
Yeah, you mentioned putting strain on your kidneys. Is there such thing as drinking too much water in this intense heat?
Excellent question. Thank you.
Great question, sir. So theoretically, yes, there is a danger in drinking too much water. If you drink too much water on its own, plain water, doesn't have a lot of electrolytes in it. So if you drink a lot of water, then what happens is your normal electrolyte.
Hello. All right, doctor. Hold on. We lost your audio there. Is anybody else not hearing that? I'm not hearing that. Doctor, for whatever reason, we lost your audio. Can you hear it? Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. So somehow you lost the mute down there too much. Oh, all right, I got you. My fault. It's on my thing here. Doctor.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where we lost it, so let me start over.
Yeah.
So the caller asked a great question about can you drink too much water? And theoretically, I said the answer theoretically is yes, you can drink too much water because water doesn't have the normal electrolytes in it. If you drink regular water, you're going to dilute out the salt that's in your blood. So the sodium level in your blood can potentially get lower than normal. And if you have low sodium, a normal sodium is around 140. That's the number we look at, around 140. If that number drops to 130 or 125, you're going to start getting confused, and you're going to have mental, some side effects that have to do with how you think. You're going to potentially even pass out, and it can be very, very dangerous. Now, I say theoretically because on days like this, if you think, well, I don't want to drink too much water, and you drink less, that's even more dangerous. You just need to drink a lot of water. And like I mentioned, add electrolytes to your water. Either get the off-the-shelf electrolyte powder that you add to your own water, or after every bottle or 2 of water, have at least 1 bottle of something like Gatorade. And if you're older, don't get the sugar Gatorade, get the low sugar Gatorade, or a product that doesn't have as much sugar or calories in it.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It's, I don't know, like G-Lite or something like that, Gatorade. And that is one of the dangers of Gatorade is that you don't realize regular Gatorade has a lot of sugar. And
a lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar.
You want to use the other product, the product that has less sugar, but yet still has the electrolytes that you need if you're sweating a lot.
219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air with Dr. Sean Kondamuri. What's going on?
I'm sorry, I took a mulligan. I have nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, good to hear from you. Holy moly! Hey, doctor, I forgot where we were. You know, it's odd that you say that, because one thing I just don't like to do, and people have always, oh, you need to drink water. You drink water. I don't want to drink water. You know what I mean? I don't mind drinking tea or coffee or Gatorade Light or a soda water, but just flat out water. It doesn't taste like anything. It seems like, you know, it's almost like a chore. So I'm glad to hear.
Let's talk about that, Jim.
All right, let's talk about that.
The very first thing I do in the morning, Jim, when I get up in the morning, I let my dog out. So my dog's got to go out and do his business. And while he's outside doing his business, I pour myself a glass of warm to hot water with a lemon, like a slice of lemon squeezed in there. So it's got, you know, the lemon, it's sort of like a little lemon juice. And that glass of water is about 16 ounces. I down that glass of water. That's the first thing that enters my body. After I do that, I feed my dog and I start my day. But the water at the beginning of the day is you must do that. Nobody does that. Very few people do it. But when you do that, you're helping the dehydration that's occurring over the 8 hours that you're sleeping. So you're getting ahead of it right there. So if you do that first thing in the morning at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning when you get up, then the hydration that's been building up since 4 o'clock in the afternoon is getting addressed a little bit. Not only that, when you acidify the water with the lemon, you're actually changing the pH balance of your body in a positive way. So there are many benefits. I won't go into all the benefits, but there's a lot of benefits to having that first glass of water in the morning. And then after that, I mean, you can flavor it a little bit as long as you don't put too much sugar in there. You know, put a slice of lemon in your water, you know, do something to make it tasty, to make it go down. But there's no excuse to not drink water. I mean, I think the rule of 8 glasses a day, maybe there's a little fiction in that. That may not be entirely true, but you need to drink a lot of water.
Talking to Dr. Sean Kondamuri. You want to talk to him? 219-845-1100. Doctor, let's go back to pain management. I got a couple of people here saying you want to talk about pain management. All you got to do is ask a question or call in, Linda, if you have a specific question. But let's talk about the heat right now. Is there any like recurring malady that you see on a regular basis just because it's hot? I stumped them.
By recurring malady, Jim.
Well, I mean, is there some sort of pain that comes up in people at this time that they got to manage? I know that's one of the things that you guys talk about.
What comes to mind is cramping. People
Cramping.
develop a lot of cramping in their legs, in different parts of their body because they're dehydrated, and you'll see it let's take an extreme example. If you look at some of our student athletes, high school athletes, they're starting today in northern Indiana. All our kids who are in high school who are in fall sports are starting conditioning today. The summer conditioning starts today for 2 days, and next week is 3 days a week, right until their practice officially start in August. So what they're doing is they're starting conditioning out in that hot sun from 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 probably, maybe even 9 to 12, 8 to 11, whatever it is. That's an extreme example. Those kids are going to be out there burning a lot of calories and sweating a lot. If they don't hydrate, they are guaranteed in the next couple of days to have cramping in their calves, cramping in their thighs, and they're going to wonder what's going on. It's because they were dehydrated. And
they obviously, I played high school football, and I remember in full pads and 100 degrees, weeks at a time it seemed. And back then, they gave you salt pills, which they don't do anymore. And, they wouldn't let you drink water until, the practice was over. And now you think about it, we're glad that not more people got, that died that way.
Some did, Jim, right?
Yeah, some did,
high school and college athletes did.
Yeah, because of that practice. But the intake of water really just basically is the only thing you can really do for those cramps, right?
Water and electrolytes. So not straight water, but you got to have Gatorade or something like that in between your water.
We're talking to Dr. Sean Kondamuri. Doctor, let me take you brought up the athletes going in, and I know you get a lot of athletes that come through your practice.
Yes.
Just in terms of where we're at right now in the pandemic, there seems to be differing opinions in the medical establishments, which you're part of whether we should, or whether we should begin or whether we'll be able to complete this high school season for athletics, specifically football, soccer, and volleyball, the more touchy sports. Do you have an opinion on this?
Yeah, I mean, again, it is very touchy. It's a very delicate topic. The reality is, football players, soccer players are going to have a lot more contact, and there's going to be a lot more likelihood of exposure and transmission of the virus. Other sports like tennis, golf, perhaps even soccer, but sports where there's not direct contact, we're not exactly breathing on someone, certainly tennis and golf. There's no reason why those can't be, you can play those sports. I don't see why they would stop it, unless they say, well, if we're canceling one sport, we're going to cancel them all, and that might happen. But with football, there's no easy answer, because those kids are going to be right on top of each other, and they're going to be breathing on each other, and they're going to be breathing hard. And if you breathe hard, you're going to be expelling a lot of air from your lungs. And if you happen to be, affected, you're going to be passing it on. So it's going to be a tough call for IHSSA. They might say, well, if our kids are tested and if they're healthy, they're negative. And if they are, like when they're in the weight room or if they're doing training that will allow it, maybe they'll wear masks. But on the field, they can't wear masks. They're going to have to play. So they might just have to limit who plays. They'll do their temperature checks. They'll do all the screening, and maybe they'll allow them to do it. But I really don't know what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, no, really, at this point, there are a lot of different opinions, and it's kind of hard to, the IHSA has their own, I guess, set of medical experts, and then there's some folks coming from the outside kind of giving a lot of question to it.
I hope they keep school open, though. I think if I have an opinion on school, I think that we really, if you want to hear it, I'm not sure.
I do, yes, very much so.
Obviously, right now, everybody's sort of standing we're walking on eggshells, waiting to see what's going to happen in the middle of August when school starts. And there's so many different opinions there. But my opinion with this is, yes, we have COVID-19, but we can't just stop everything we're doing in our lives. Nothing against any of our educators. They're all doing their best. But let's face it, the 2 months that our kids were at home doing distance learning, it was way less than ideal. Most kids did not learn as much as they would have in school. And the fact is, they were not ready. We're not ready for it. And the kids at home could not learn effectively via a computer screen. And that doesn't even take into consideration all the families where parents aren't even available at home, or parents can't help, and all those things where the kids might be left alone to their own devices at home. That's very difficult. So I think kids have to get to school. My opinion is we have to get our kids in school at least part-time, maybe Monday, Wednesday for half the class, and Tuesday, Thursday for the other half of the class. Maybe Wednesdays are online doing some online work, a hybrid of online but in class. But we must get into school. The kids are losing out on socialization. They're not able to hang out with their friends if they're stuck at home. Certainly during the summer, they're hanging out a little bit more. But when school starts again, it's going to be very tough. They need to socialize. They need to be with their friends. They need to be in front of a teacher, and they need to learn in the proper way. And that's not happening if we have another season of another semester of at-home online teaching.
Anything that parents should be doing with their kids right now to get them ready to get back into school? Anything specific you can think of other than perhaps educating them about what? Let's be honest. You see a bunch of young kids. There's almost no regard for social distancing and for washing of hands and for wearing masks, and the obvious danger of that is taking it home. Is there any way for these school districts to guard against that?
Well, they can guard against it by just, if they see a kid without a mask on in school, they can call them out. And it's an offense now. It's just like using your phone in school. If you use your phone, you're going to have a warning, and then you're going to have a detention. They can simply do that. I know kids don't want to wear masks in school. I'm sure they don't. But if that is the rule, they have to do it, because they don't realize how potentially you could give this to a parent or a grandparent when you go back home. The kids are going to be safe. For the most part, children are not going to be ill. It's a very small number of kids who get seriously ill. So they're going to be fine. It's just who's at home that's compromised, that has a medical condition like heart disease or diabetes or obesity, who might be at risk of getting COVID-19 and getting sick. Now, getting COVID-19, I think, my opinion, I think we need to get it. I think let people get exposed to a certain extent. Let us actually get the virus in our bodies, and maybe have a small mild illness, as long as we don't get really sick and die. Having people develop some symptoms and get exposed, that's going to create herd immunity. We need that as a society so that we won't suffer long term. It's like any illness. It's okay if you get some sickness in the population. It's just you want to be able to take care of them when they do get sick. Otherwise, if everybody is living in a sterile environment where nobody's exposed, one day you're going to get exposed and you're not going to be able to tolerate it. Especially our older population. Patients who are in nursing homes or who are very old, they obviously have to be very, very protected against. So if you have a child who lives at home with a grandparent, then that child maybe should be studying online, or he better take seriously all the precautions that are being given to him.
He's Dr. Sean Kondamuri. Doctor, your offices, I mean, we followed you all the way through the pandemic to where you were seeing no patients and then you were seeing some patients. Sounds like, obviously we even waited a little bit here. It sounds like you're pretty busy right now.
Yeah, we're back to normal. We're back to at least 95% of normal now. Patients are coming in. I'm sure that some patients are still choosing not to come because they're a little bit afraid, but our offices are back to getting pretty normal with patients who need to be seen.
He is Dr. Sean Kondamuri, and Doctor, we cover everything, man. You could talk about anything. You got it going, and I appreciate you doing that. It's Midwest Interventional Spine Specialist. Am I saying that right?
Sir. That's correct.
And they're all over the Calumet region, and once again voted number best in the region in pain management and in spinal matters. So congratulations to you and your rest of your staff. I know it has.
I want to thank all our patients out there and people who know about us, who voted for us, and who are supporting us to accomplish our mission, which is to take care of patients and allow them to have a vibrant, normal life.
He is Dr. Sean Kondamuri. Doctor, thank you so much. Let's end that, and we'll talk to him in a couple of weeks. And see you later, Doctor. One of these days, I will start doing it here. Now that Purdue opened up the building today, so
Okay.
If you want to come in, you can now. All right, talk to you soon. See
Thank
ya.
you, Jim.
All right, there it is. That'll do it. Dr. Sean Kondamuri. He's got a lot to say, man. I like talking to him. He's very easygoing, and he's up on all of the things that are going on, even though he's talking about, high school sports starting, what are some of the issues, and then, of course, what is the, what are the issues as school starts, which we're going to have to start taking on the morning show. So it is. There's a lot going on, and I appreciate you guys listening because we are the voice and face of the region.